Myself, Rajendra S. Karale. My qualification is MSc Chemistry BR and experience is of 28 years. Now, today we are going to discuss about factors affecting the enthalpy of chemical reaction, which is also called as heat of chemical reaction. This topic is only for NEET and JEE. Now here the various factors affecting the enthalpy of chemical reaction, which is also called as heat of chemical reaction, are given as. Now here physical state of number 1, physical state of reactants and products. The enthalpy of chemical reaction which is also called as heat of chemical reaction depend upon the physical state of reactants and products. That means here, write down example. In a chemical reaction, now here write down example, that is H2 gas plus half of O2 gas gives H2O liquid, and here the change in enthalpy delta HR equal to minus 285.8 kilojoule. Second, H2 gas plus half of O2 gas gives H2O gas, and here change in enthalpy delta H equal to minus 241 0.8 kilojoule. Here these both are the reactions are same, but only difference is that here water is formed in the liquid state and here water is formed in the gaseous state. Now here enthalpy of both the reactions are different, because enthalpy of chemical reaction depends upon physical state of reactants and products. Here water is formed in the liquid state and water is formed in the gaseous state. Now second, allotropic modification. The enthalpy of chemical reaction, which is also called as heat of chemical reaction, is different with different allotropic modification of the same element. Now here write down example A. Suppose C diamond plus O2 gas gives CO2 gas, and here delta H R equal to minus 395.4 kilojoule, and second reaction C graphite plus O2 gas gives CO2 gas, and here delta HR equal to minus 393.5 kilojoule. Now here both the reactions are same, but here enthalpy of both the chemical reactions are different, because enthalpy of chemical reaction depends upon the allotropic modification of same element. That means here carbon is in the diamond form and here carbon is in the graphite form. Now then write down third factor. Amount of substance. The enthalpy of chemical reaction or heat of chemical reaction depend upon the increases with increase in the amount of substance in a chemical reaction. That means here heat of combustion of two mole of carbon is double than that of combustion of one mole of carbon. Now then write down fourth factor. Temperature. The enthalpy of chemical reaction that means heat of chemical reaction depend upon temperature of the chemical reaction. Now here the effect of temperature on the enthalpy of chemical reaction which is also called as heat of chemical reaction is given by the Kirchhoff's equation. That is delta H2 equal to delta H1 plus delta Cp into T2 minus T1, where delta H1 is the enthalpy of chemical reaction which is also called as heat of chemical reaction at temperature T1. Delta H2 is the enthalpy of chemical reaction that means heat of chemical reaction at temperature T2. Delta Cp is the change in molar heat capacity of products and reactants that is delta Cp equal to Cp2 minus Cp1. That means here Cp1 and Cp2 are the molar heat capacities of reactants and products respectively. Now Then write down pressure or volume. The enthalpy of chemical reaction, that means here heat of chemical reaction depend upon condition of temperature, condition of pressure and volume. Now here the enthalpy of chemical reaction that means heat of chemical reaction at constant volume and constant temperature is the change in internal energy. That means here QV equal to delta E. Now the enthalpy of chemical reaction, that means here heat of chemical reaction at constant pressure and constant temperature is the change in enthalpy. That means here QP equal to delta H. Now here delta H may be equal to or greater than or less than delta U depending upon the value of P delta V. It is given as delta H equal to delta U plus P delta V. Now here write down case A. If P delta V is positive, then delta H is greater than delta U. Case B. That means you can arrange this equation like this: delta H minus delta U equal to P delta V. If P delta V is negative, then delta U is greater than delta H. And case C, if P delta V equal to 0, then delta H equal to delta U. Now this is regarding about factors affecting the enthalpy of chemical reaction or heat of chemical reaction. First factor is physical state of reactants and product. Second, allotropic modification. Third, amount of substance. Fourth, temperature. And fifth, pressure and volume. And remaining part of this unit will be discussed in the next lecture.